Dear Gemini, there are things in life that arrive quietly, without noise, without clear signs, yet they carry the power to change your entire path. And today, I need to whisper to you about a truth your heart may have faintly sensed, but your mind has not yet wanted to admit. There will be a man either already within your familiar circle or slowly stepping in who carries an energy that is not safe for the Gemini soul. He does not come with loudness, nor with obvious wounds. His danger lies in subtlety in every word, every glance that makes you begin to doubt your own intelligence and your light. Gemini, do you remember moments after speaking with someone when you suddenly felt smaller, lost, or uncertain about decisions that had once been so clear in your mind? That is not a coincidence. That is the sign that your energy is being touched, drained, twisted by an invisible hand. And today, the universe wants you to know this, so you no longer wander in someone else's shadow. You were born to be free, to speak your truth, to turn your intellect and curiosity into the winds that guide not only yourself, but those around you. Yet because you are flexible, open, and easily connected, you are also someone who can be easily swept away by sweet words, encouraging glances, only to suddenly realize you've been placed inside a cage built from words and subtle control. I know. With the Gemini heart, you always want to believe in the good, always ready to see the bright side in every person. But that very nature is what makes you overlook warning signals until it is too late. And that is why you need to sit here with me, listening to this message. Because once you see clearly, you will no longer be easily led, no longer need to shrink yourself to fit into the narrow world someone else created. Gemini, if you feel you are in this journey, leave a comment with the words, "I am ready as Gemini," to affirm to yourself and to the universe that you are ready to protect your light. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so you will always receive the right messages at the right time meant just for you. So now, take a deep breath, prepare a cup of tea or your favorite coffee, and step with me into the truth the universe wants to reveal to Gemini, right here, right now. Part 1. Opening warning. The man moving closer to Gemini's energy. Dear Gemini, there are moments in life that arrive like a strange breeze, silent to the world, yet deeply felt in your heart. It is that vague unease, as if something is drawing near, though your mind has not yet found the words for it. And today, I need to speak to you about a truth that, if you don't see in time, could pull you into a spiral that leaves your Gemini soul weary and confused for far too long. Gemini, what I am about to share with you may save you from a situation you have not even imagined. There is a kind of man either already in your life or drawing closer, who carries an energy both magnetic and dangerous. He doesn't harm with violence, nor leave visible wounds on the surface. Instead, he seeps in more subtly, through words, through the seeds of doubt he plants in your mind. For Gemini, who lives through intellect, communication, analysis, and multi-layered perception, this is both your greatest strength and your most vulnerable doorway. Have you ever experienced this? After what seemed like a simple conversation, you walked away feeling smaller, unsettled, as though the beliefs you once held so firmly suddenly began to wobble. You asked yourself, "Am I just being too sensitive? Did I do something wrong?" That is not random. That is the sign that your energy is being siphoned away by an invisible hand, a subtle presence the universe wants you to recognize. What makes this dangerous, Gemini, is your open heart. You were born to connect, to listen, to explore the many stories people carry. You are curious, eager to learn, always willing to see the good in others. That light makes you beloved. It draws people in, but it also tempts you to overlook red flags. You often bend to keep the peace, or adjust yourself so a bond doesn't break. And that is exactly the gap a man like this exploits. He will come with a smile, with polished care. He might make you believe you are finally understood, that someone sees the complexity and depth within Gemini. But slowly, his words begin to shift. A little critique here, a joke there, a subtle comparison. Never enough to anger you outright, but just enough to make you doubt yourself. That is how your greatest gift, your brilliant mind, becomes the very tool you use to chain yourself. Gemini. Ask yourself, will you listen to your intuition and recognize this truth before it is too late? Or will you let the lesson be learned through pain? Because once doubt takes root in your mind, it can take years to reclaim the confidence that was always yours. And Gemini, you are worth so much more than that. Don't think you are here by accident. The universe always delivers its signals to the right person at the right time. If you are hearing these words, your soul is ready to see clearly. Don't ignore this moment. This isn't just a video. It is the message your intuition has been longing for. Gemini, you were born to soar, to speak words that make the world pause and think, to bring freedom and light to others. You were not born to be caged by clever words or shrunk into someone else's narrow world. You are the wind, the whisper of the universe, the movement that never stops. And anyone who tries to make you smaller is only afraid of your freedom. So if you are Gemini, and you feel this message is speaking directly to you, claim it right now. Leave a comment with the words, "I am ready," as Gemini. Let it remind you, and let it signal to the universe that you are ready to protect your light. And don't forget to like and subscribe, so we can continue this journey together, ensuring that every step you take is guided in perfect time. Take a deep breath. Let go of the noise outside. Prepare yourself a warm cup of tea or your favorite coffee and settle in comfortably. Because right now, we are about to dive deeper into the story the universe is sending, especially to Gemini. And this is a journey you will not want to miss. Part 2. Describing this man and how to recognize him. Dear Gemini, let me whisper to you about a kind of man whose presence may seem harmless, even stirring feelings of trust and admiration from the very first moment. He arrives with polished charm, attentive eyes, a smile that seems to understand every subtle ripple in your soul. For a Gemini who craves intellectual resonance and connection through words, this feels like the sweetest medicine, one you welcome with open arms. You feel seen, acknowledged, understood in ways few others can manage. But Gemini, it is in that very moment when you believe someone finally hears you that the trap begins to close. This man often shows up with admiration. He tells you you're brilliant, that you're captivating, that your quick wit and adaptability impress him. For a Gemini heart, tender to words of recognition, such compliments feel like cool water on a hot day, making you glow with safety and pride. Yet soon after, he starts planting seeds of doubt. Constructive feedback, half praise, half critique slips in, and you don't realize these are the tiny blades piercing your confidence. You're smart, but maybe too complicated. You're adaptable, but seem indecisive. You speak beautifully, but can be hard to follow. You're capable, but maybe a bit too much. Gemini, pause and feel. At first, these sound like care, like sincere attempts to help you grow. But in truth, they leave you unsettled, questioning yourself. Am I really too complicated? Do I actually make people uncomfortable with my changes? And slowly, bit by bit, you begin suppressing your natural self. You speak less, debate less, even choose silence just to avoid criticism. That is the moment you've stepped into his subtle web of control. For single Geminis, be especially cautious. This man often sweeps in like a refreshing breeze, full of admiration, sometimes making you believe he is enchanted by your mind and charm. But once he wins your trust, he flips the script, turning your strengths into flaws. Brilliant becomes overcomplicated. Captivating speaker becomes talks too much. Adaptable becomes unstable. And you, eager to preserve the connection, find yourself bending and changing just to please him. For Geminis already in relationships, the signs can be even clearer. Your partner may frequently twist normal conversations into debates. Every time you share an idea, instead of listening and sharing back, he seizes the chance to prove you wrong or to display that he knows more. He may sprinkle in comparisons. Others seem more mature in this area, or I think you should be more decisive, like A or B. At first, you take these as helpful advice, but over time, you notice that instead of feeling uplifted, you're exhausted, like you're always having to prove your worth in your own home. What makes this so frightening is that nothing he does ever feels like enough for you to walk away instantly. He still has his tender moments, times of laughter, gestures of care, and it's precisely this mixture of sweetness and sting that clouds your clarity. You cling to the good moments, telling yourself, he really does care about me. Maybe I'm just too sensitive. But Gemini, your intuition never lies. If you leave a conversation feeling smaller, more confused, less confident, that is the signal. Remember, someone who truly loves you will never make you shrink yourself. They won't ask you to mute your nature just to fit their world. A true partner expands you, lets you breathe freely, and makes you proud to be exactly who you are, not weary of measuring every word and step. So, Gemini, never underestimate the power of small details. A compliment laced with a critique, a half-joking comparison, a harmless remark, all of these can be signals. And once you recognize them, you will no longer be so easily led. Have you ever met someone like this? Share your experience in the comments to help protect other Geminis. And don't forget to subscribe so you'll always have the tools to safeguard your energy. Part 3. Why Gemini easily becomes a target. Dear Gemini, do you know why you often become the target of these subtle, calculating men? It's because you carry a truly special kind of light. The quick brilliance of your mind, the ability to see situations from multiple angles, and that endless curiosity that never stops asking questions of the world around you. This is what makes you stand out. What makes you so captivating in the eyes of others? People are drawn to you by your flexible thinking, by the way you can dive into a complex issue and then instantly turn it into a witty story that lightens the atmosphere. You are the fresh breeze that everyone longs to be near. But Gemini, that very radiance is also what leaves you vulnerable. When you open yourself to hear many perspectives, when you willingly let your mind expand in all directions, you also become more susceptible to stories told with cunning precision, especially when someone knows how to tap into your curiosity and your longing for recognition. You want to understand. You want to see balance. So often you choose to concede in arguments just to keep the peace. You tell yourself, it's fine. I'll stay quiet this time. But each silence, each concession, becomes the opening through which the other person slowly takes control of the narrative, slowly plants seeds of doubt in your mind. The kind of man we're speaking of knows exactly how to exploit this. He knows you value intelligence and validation, so he blends praise with criticism. He knows you want to please, so he maneuvers you into questioning yourself. Maybe I really do need to change a little, just to keep things harmonious. But Gemini, do you see? Every time you second-guess your own intelligence, you are unconsciously handing him the key to control how you see yourself. You are Gemini, the sign of duality, of speech and language. Your intellect is your most powerful weapon, the gift that sets you apart from all others. And yet, paradoxically, it is also the very door through which others can most easily try to slip in. A subtle compliment, a story that seems harmless, a piece of advice wrapped in comparison, each one can leave you hesitating, shaking your confidence, and creating cracks in your self-belief. Think back to conversations you've had. Have you ever walked away with your mind in knots, suddenly unsure of things you were once certain about? Have you ever sat in silence afterwards, asking yourself, am I really too complicated? Am I truly as indecisive as they say? If so, that is the sign someone has touched one of your most delicate vulnerabilities. Gemini, trust me, your intelligence is not something to be doubted. It is the gift the universe gave you to both protect and guide you. But you must learn to discern what is a challenge that helps you grow, and what is manipulation that makes you shrink yourself. Someone who truly loves you will expand the space for your intellect to soar, not turn it into a burden that makes you apologize for being who you are. The message today is clear. Gemini, your intellect is your weapon, but it is also the door through which subtle attacks can come. Use that very intellect to recognize and protect yourself, rather than letting others twist it into invisible chains. If this resonates with you, leave a comment saying, I am protecting my Gemini light. Let that be your affirmation to yourself and to the universe that you are ready. And don't forget to subscribe, because many more warnings and timely messages are waiting to guide you further along this journey. Part 4. Strategies to protect yourself. Dear Gemini, by now you may have realized that the true danger does not lie in obvious wounds, but in the subtle cracks, those invisible fractures planted quietly in your mind. And that is why this part is the most important. Learning how to protect yourself, how to guard your Gemini light and intellect from anyone who seeks to exploit or manipulate you. First, you must understand one thing: boundaries are essential. As a Gemini, you are gifted in communication, you love to connect, and you open your heart easily. But that very openness sometimes makes you overlook words that wound you, all for the sake of keeping the peace. You laugh off being teased. You stay silent when someone belittles you and brushes it off with, I was just joking. But Gemini, a joke is only a joke when both people are laughing. If you feel uncomfortable, it is no longer humor. It is disguised trespassing. And you have every right to say, stop. Anytime someone mixes praise with criticism or uses half-jokes to force you into proving your worth, practice being direct. That doesn't feel good to me. I don't want to hear that again. You may think such words will create tension, but in truth, they free you from being manipulated. And if someone truly loves you, they will listen and respect that boundary. If they dismiss you or call you too sensitive, that is the clearest answer about who they really are. Gemini, you need to train yourself to recognize the difference. Someone who loves you genuinely will expand your awareness. encourage you to see things from another perspective, but they will never make you shrink yourself to fit their world. After talking with them, you feel lighter, more open, more confident. In contrast, someone who manipulates you always leaves you in confusion. You walk away heavy, questioning yourself, doubting the brilliance that has always been yours. The key here is to trust your intuition, not just your intellect. Your intellect is razor sharp, but that also makes it easier to be swayed by clever words and arguments that sound logical. Intuition is different. It's the whisper inside when you feel uneasy, when you leave a conversation with a heavy heart, despite having no clear reason. That is the invisible protection the universe gave you. Intuition never lies. It only waits for you to trust it enough to listen. Perhaps you've been used to brushing that feeling aside, telling yourself, "I'm just being too sensitive." But Gemini, from now on, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, do I feel smaller or larger after this interaction? That answer is your compass, showing you who truly deserves to stay close, and who must be kept at a distance. And remember this: protecting your energy is not selfish. It is necessary for you to keep shining. You were not born to fit neatly into someone else's frame. You are Gemini, the sign of freedom, of intellect, of words that guide and connect. You are the wind, and the wind cannot be trapped. If someone loves you, they will want you to blow life into everything around you, not diminish yourself so they feel safe. Start with small steps. A firm no, a calm smile when you stand up for your worth, the decision to walk away from toxic conversations. Each of these acts is a layer of armor protecting you, and as you grow accustomed to setting boundaries, you will find yourself not only preserving your energy, but also safeguarding your confidence and intellect, the most precious gifts the universe has given you. Dear Gemini, your intuition is your strongest shield. It does not shout. It does not analyze it. Simply whispers when something is off. And believe me, if you learn to honor it, no one will ever be able to shake you again. If you agree that Gemini's intuition is the strongest shield, leave a comment. I trust my intuition. And don't forget to subscribe, so your light always remains protected, because the road ahead holds many more timely messages from the universe that you will not want to miss. Part 5. Awakening. Closing message. Dear Gemini, by now you've traveled a long path with me. We've spoken about subtle signs, about the ways a man can enter your life and quietly make you doubt yourself. And now, I want us to face the greatest truth together. This dangerous man could be anyone around you. He doesn't have to be a stranger you've just met. Sometimes he is the very person you once trusted most deeply. It could be your partner, the one who should uplift you, but instead constantly paints you as too much. It could be a friend, someone who laughs with you in good times, but quietly cuts you down with harsh comparisons. It could even be a colleague or a family member, those you always assumed would be in your corner. And what do they all have in common? They want you to shrink yourself to fit inside the small frame of their comfort zone. They cannot bear your freedom, your intelligence, or your brilliance because your light forces them to see their own limitations. Instead of expanding to walk beside you, they would rather clip your wings so you can't soar too high. But Gemini, remember this: you were not born to shrink. You were born to explore, to expand knowledge, to transform ideas, words, and conversations into bridges that connect the world. You are the wind, and no one can lock the wind inside a room. You were born to move, to guide, to stir souls into awakening. And here is the core message you must carve into your heart. When someone says you are too much, The truth is not that you are too much, the truth is that they are not enough to walk beside you. Do not allow anyone to plant in you the belief that your intellect is a burden, that your curiosity is a problem, or that your words are excessive. These are precisely the reasons the universe chose you to be Gemini, the one tasked with shaking things up, renewing energy, and blowing fresh life into this world. I want to give you a simple practice, one that holds great power. After every conversation, after every interaction, ask yourself this: do I feel more expanded and clear, or do I feel smaller and doubtful of myself? That answer will show you instantly who nourishes your energy and who, whether knowingly or not, drains it. Choose to stay near those who make you feel larger, brighter, clearer, and boldly create distance from those who keep you shrinking. You owe no one your silence or your compromise. Gemini, take in this final affirmation. You never need to apologize for your brilliance and your light. Those who truly love you will want you to fly higher, not cut your wings shorter. This is the truth you must carry, so that whenever someone claims you are too much, you will know it is not your problem. It is their limitation. You were not born to please. You were born to live true to yourself, to be the voice the universe sends out for those who need to hear it. You were born to spread freedom, to bring knowledge and love wherever you go. Allow yourself to stand fully in that light. No apologies, no hiding, no shrinking. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment saying, "I am free to be myself," as your declaration to the universe that you have awakened and chosen your path. And make sure to subscribe so we can continue protecting Gemini's light, because this journey is not only for you, but also a gift you share with thousands of other Geminis seeking the same awakening. Gemini, you have already heard this call, and once heard, you can never go back to who you were before. Spread your wings with confidence, for the sky was made for you to fly free. Dear Gemini, today's journey has revealed an important truth. In life, there will always be people who want you to shrink yourself to fit within the limits of their frame. But the message the universe wants to remind you of is this: you never need to apologize for your intellect, your curiosity, or your radiant light. The practical lesson you can apply starting right now is simple yet powerful. Learn to listen to your intuition. Set boundaries in even the smallest moments, and only keep the relationships that leave you clearer and stronger after every interaction. When you do this, you're not only protecting your energy, you're securing the path of your own long-term growth. If today's message resonates with you, leave a comment saying, "I am free to be myself." Let it be your declaration to the universe and a reminder to your own heart. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so that other Geminis can also receive this precious message. Always remember, you do not need to make yourself smaller in order to be loved. You were born to shine, to connect, and to become the freest version of yourself. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I'll see you in the next video, where the universe will continue to whisper messages made especially for Gemini.